Greetings, everyone. I'm What Hamster.
I'm Alpha 8.
Excellent. So we're basically at the second last video of the single player until I record more videos, which will be after I'm done with Freedom Unite multiplayer, because I need G rank equipment for like the G rank Diablos that they toss you against. If I'm ever gonna do it within 40 minutes. It's kind of a dick move from the game, actually, is to do that. That one, Diablos, the Demon King, that's the G rank one. That's the one I'm gonna wait with. And once I've got that one, then I will unlock 2 more Elder Dragons, which I won't use G rank weapons with. Maybe I will, who knows, just to get it over with. But for now, we're gonna fight another Shengaran. And
cutscene.
I don't know if you watched the Lao Shen Lung.
No.
No? Well, it's pretty much the same area that you're going to fight this Shengaran instead of near the city, which is just one area you fight in. Here, it's going to be like a Lao Shen Lung fight, only with Shengaran instead.
Okay.
Only he is substantially easier to kill than Lao Shen Lung, just because he doesn't have as much health. But you still can't kill him until the very end, unfortunately.
So whose skull is that?
That's a Lao Shen Lung skull.
Ah.
Crabs love their skulls. For some reason, everything is a hermit crab.
I'm pretty sure even crab joints aren't supposed to sound like that.
Well, it is a giant crab.
Tell me, do you have to target its weak point for massive damage?
Sorta. We'll get into that. So this Shengaran fight differs from the first one I did, where you're just fighting in the town and he's only in one area.
Oh god, butt lasers.
Yeah, he spits acid.
From his butt.
Yeah, so they gave me an anti-dragon bomb. You may remember them from Try, right?
No.
Anti-dragon bombs?
I think you mean dung bombs?
No, anti-dragon.
No, those aren't in there, I think.
You never did the multiplayer?
Nope.
Oh, well, that would explain it. Well, anti-dragon bombs are bombs you get for special Elder Dragon fights, like against huge dragon monsters, like this, for example. And they do.
Even though it's not technically, like physically, it's not a dragon.
No,
it's
but that's what
crab.
they call them. They call them anti-dragon bombs because they're special bombs that can only be used on them. Because
they're super dung bombs.
Well, no, it's super damaging bombs that you only get for missions like this, and they can only be placed certain places.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Like on Lao Shen Lung, you get to jump on his back, and then you place the bomb on his back. And that's the only place you can place it. Only, with Shengaran, you place it a little bit of an unconventional and unhealthy spot, and, you know, when it happens, I'll point it out. Well, people will be able to see it. So what I'm doing here is I'm sticking to one of the sides here, because usually he will start when he finally decides to grace us with his presence. But he will usually shoot a acid blast into the middle of the road, always off the bat. So if you stay to the side, you won't get hit by that. Just something I've learned through being hit by it several times.
Oh dear.
Well, Box is gonna dance. Not really much to do until he actually shows up. I mean, at least with the Lao Shen Lung, I could prep up some bombs to blow up in his face when he got there. But here, all I can really do is just kind of wait a bit. And there he's getting ready to spit. That's why I wanted to stick to the side. And he does actual several spits.
I still can't get over acid poop.
Well, I think it's more of a... I don't think it's excretions, though.
Well, it's certainly not coming from the skull with no anything attached to it.
Have you actually seen a hermit crab without the shell on its back?
Not really.
Okay, so basically the hermit crab has, like, a fleshy, exposed bulb with no real shell around it, and that's why they hide in shells and stuff to like protect themselves.
A terrible path of evolution.
And that's basically what there is the back, but I'm guessing like this crab has like as a defense mechanism that they're used to hiding in giant monster skulls that has jaws that can open. Then they kind of manipulate the jaws to open, and then they basically spew acid out on anything that's dangerous to them. I think it's something more like that, but you know, we're talking about fictional monsters, I guess.
Yeah, but they usually do always base them on real
they usually take
real animals.
Like, if I were to take a gander, Keza would be like a chicken leech combination. I don't know. You know, they always mix a couple of things. Like, there's the spider monkey, literally spider monkey in Frontier, where it shoots webs out and swings like Spider-Man in the trees. Yeah. I actually kind of find that one. I wouldn't mind fighting at some point, but then I'd have to get Frontier.
Yeah, the real weapon you should use against him is butter.
Well, I don't think I'd get that much butter, though.
Yeah,
I don't think I can get that big of a vat of boiling water and butter. That'd be a little hard.
Good point.
Like I think the Dragonator would work better. It is more efficient.
Yeah.
You don't like giant drill spikes coming out of the walls?
Nah, I prefer the old-fashioned way.
Oh. I'm still using hammer, so you know the fight's still pretty good.
At least you'll crack the shell and expose the delicious innards.
Actually, you don't get to crack the shell. Unfortunately, the only place there are breaks in Shengaran is the skull in the back, and that sucks. The Lao Shenlong parts. I will say the skull does get wrecked and dilapidated the more you attack it, but and it looks pretty neat. I do show some of it off in the multiplayer, but I don't think we got all the breaks. We got, I think, like 2 out of 4 breaks, something like that.
That's a lot of breaks.
Yeah, just for the skull in the back, but that's just because Heat Wizard was using a bow at the time. And he could actually shoot them. Ranged weapons aren't really bad for Lao Shenlong. I'm not Lao Shenlong, but Shengaran, just because he's passive aggressive. He doesn't really do much. He kind of just walks and sometimes shoots at him. And your main goal is just to slow him down or kill him before he destroys the fort. And so remember that anti-dragon bomb that I mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess where it's going to go?
Right into the mouth?
Yeah. Did I mention it's not very healthy?
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever he opens his mouth, that means he's charging up a laser. You can also get carbs in his mouth, but I suggest people with gunner armor do not do this, because I did. That's how much damage it did to me with melee armor, and
yeah,
it will one-shot gunners. Gunners do not do this. Just I figured out this the hard way. Spoilers for one of the multiplayer videos. Heat Wizard died. And I was like, oh god, Heat Wizard, why?
I did something stupid.
Yeah, we didn't... Well, I didn't think they would kill him because, you know, I figured maybe some sort of elemental attack. Nope. Turns out the gunners just... It's a physical damaging attack, and gunners take more damage because no physical defense.
Ah, you broke another one of his feet.
Oh, no, it's the same foot I've been working on. Basically, they have level 1 and level 2 bleeding on the feet. The red glow is, like, because it's internally bleeding. And, whenever you do that, you knock him down onto the ground. Whenever you get a bleeding. And then when you get enough bleeding on each leg, then he's prone on the ground for a period of time and can't get up high on his legs, which he needs to do to be able to attack the fort, for example. So it's advantageous and it helps you deal damage to him. And the reason why the hammer's good at this is because every time he stomps on the ground with his legs, he makes earthquakes, so if you don't have quake resistance. And plus, if his legs touch you when they're moving, you take lots of damage. So it's good with the hammer that you can just get a good hit, roll away, and plus, you know...
Plus, it's just really satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Plus, hammers do a lot of damage against crabs in general because, you know, shells instead of scales.
Again, it's just really satisfying. Beating a giant crab with a giant hammer.
The only downside to this particular Shengoran fight is just it's the Lao Shanlung formula where you're just, you know, chasing monster in hallways, then it reaches the fort. And then when it's reached the fort, then you go smash it some more and you can finally kill it if you've dealt enough damage. Ah, bombs, how I love you. And I'm just gonna set those bombs off with a paintball because you can do that. And I paintballed them at the same time.
Hooray!
Yeah, I didn't expect that I'd paintball. In fact, I don't even think I know that.
The paintball exploded the paint everywhere.
I think just paintball ignores the hitbox.
But also triggers it.
It triggers them, but it goes through them.
I like my idea better.
Yeah.
It just explodes paint everywhere.
Only I'd imagine that it evaporates. It just burn.
Well, it's paint that usually goes on giant fire wyverns.
Well, this is...
I'm sure it's fireproof.
This is true. Just always trying to get those extra hits in. Get those last hits in.
I kind of feel sorry for him. He has to crawl on his broken legs.
He's fine.
And also, he just clipped his leg through solid rock.
Well, you know, they do that. It's a feature. Wait for the patch.
I love that he's shown in your zone right now, but physically he's in the other zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's because if you were in the other zone, you could see him slowly walking away still.
Yeah. It's still doing the animations and such.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, I don't mind that it takes them this extra time to get through the zones, but on the other hand, if, say, they had cut 10 minutes out of this, like, you can see that the max is 35 minutes. That's when the monster runs no matter what, if the fort isn't destroyed.
Yeah.
So, if they had cut down the health of the monster and cut 10 minutes off the fight, and just made it maybe zone through a little bit, that would have been fine, you know?
Or a bit of a larger zone, but that's kind of harder to do on a PSP.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, like, because I've been doing so much Freedom recording, the zones in the first generation Monster Hunter are literally like I'd say about they cut down a third of the size, so you have barely any space to fight in, and the camera angles are really terrible in some areas because some areas are so small that they have to have the camera right up against your back all the time.
Kind of like that.
Worse than that, because the camera's lower, so your character's filling.
Oh god.
So, Forest and Hills is a great example of it, and people have probably already seen examples of me fighting in, say, Area 9. What was that?
I don't know.
No, just I heard Skype go bleep bloop like somebody tried to send me a file.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. But, you know, it's like, tried to send me a file and it failed, like, that type of thing.
Stop getting dizzy.
Well,
from the
I can't
quakes.
I can't control the camera angle when I'm up against the wall, unfortunately.
I'm talking about from the quakes.
Oh, yeah, the quakes. Yeah. Quake resistance gear is really nice to have, especially if you're not using something like hammer. If you're, say, using something like... I don't know, how would Greatsword be in this fight? If you had quick resistance and you could stand there... You know, actually, it might not be that bad, because if you pick where the leg's going to land, and you have quake resistance, you can just stand there, get a triple charge off the legs each time. So, yeah, that actually might be pretty good. Again, requires quick resistance. All of the crits on his face.
Yep.
Fortunately, I whiffed the last 2 hits. But, I've almost got, like, the 4th leg down. Yeah, the 4th leg. I was about to say, no, I should say the 3rd leg, but what am I talking about? I really don't...
And that's still not enough to keep him from standing up.
Nope. You gotta get the... You gotta get the 4th break.
Also, I'm pretty sure that due to the way his legs are, they wouldn't create quakes.
Probably not.
Because all that weight would be balanced on the 3 other legs.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot lighter. It'd be just
well, maybe he's just stomping because he's angry that I'm hitting his legs.
I don't think he'd want to stomp with his legs like that. He'd be too liable to fall.
No.
Or break them.
I don't know. Either way, it's just... It's there as a game mechanic, at least.
Yeah. It's there to be annoying.
But, yeah. I believe, yeah, this will be the last fight in single player where it's chase the monster down in tunnels as they try to reach the fort and destroy it.
And fail.
Yeah, these missions aren't really a challenge, I'll be honest. They're really easy to do. And just before he did his acid spit trying to break the fortification walls so he can get through, he, yeah, I got a nice blade job. So I just screwed him over there.
What a dick!
No, you know, it's what I
almost
do.
had it.
It's what I do.
Why can't he just walk over them?
That is actually a pretty huge fortification. You probably can't get his legs over them properly. At least not without spending more effort. Then it's probably just easier to smash them. Which is why
I guess.
Smash them.
But then again, if you have an acid bud, I'd use it.
Well, I remember I stopped him in doing this, so now he's just going over there to try and punch the fortifications.
With his mostly broken legs.
No, he's got his forearms. No, the crab pincers.
Break those too.
I can't. And plus, pincers are a terrible thing to attack because even with purple sharpness, you will bounce.
They're really strong pincers.
They are. It takes no damage if you punch them.
His eyes look like little gun turrets.
Yeah, kind of got a weird shaped eyes, but you know, I guess that's... But that's...
Crabs generally don't have stalks like that. They usually widen at the top into more of a ball shape rather than looking like a gun turret.
But it is Monster Hunter, so I guess they're allowed to have their own... And I got touched by his hitbox. Yeah, if any part of those legs hit you, of the hitbox, you just take damage.
You just kind of got clocked in the head by one of the leg joints.
Just any part of those legs touch you, you just take damage. Even if you're standing underneath him, like if just the hitbox touches you. So that was a bit shameful, and I lost all my precious food buffs and good stuff like that, unfortunately. Oh, food buffs, how I miss thee.
Now you gotta wait for him again.
Yeah, well, there's no sense in going back and waiting for him to break the fortification and... Well, not waiting for him to, like, by the time you reach there, he'll have left, and that'll just be a waste.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is one of the longer areas. Honestly, though, I'd have to say Tri did this type of fight a lot better.
Yeah.
Like the final boss in the single player. I won't say more than that, of course, but you know what I mean.
Again, I haven't actually fought him yet.
Oh, wow, really?
I'm at the end. I could finish him, fight him if I wanted to, but kind of want to get at least some better equipment.
That's not bad.
Rather than my guild bard stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Just if you're using elemental weapons, I guess go for something ludicrous.
And plus, I want a better weapon. Well, I'm just using a bone axe.
Well, yeah, it's clear that you've been using hacks. If you're still using a bone axe. But the switch axe is a pretty great weapon, though. Though actually the switch axe is based off of the. It's like a. It's the attack pattern of the hunting horn when you're in the axe form.
Yeah.
There's a few differences though, but you know the endless combo as long as you have stamina. That's actually from the hunting horn. Only the hunting horn doesn't use stamina when you do that.
That's gonna make it very confusing when Tri-Ultimate's out, because you'll have the hunting horn and the switch axe.
Well, you know, for multiplayer, I'm definitely choosing the hunting horn. I'm going for hunting horn, baby. Yeah, I want to play more with the hunting horn. The hunting horn is a great weapon, and I want all of the hunting horns. I'll be sad if there is no guitar hunting horn. This game has a guitar hunting horn, and it is great.
It might end up being like a special item.
Yeah.
Similar to the Shark Lance.
Possibly. I just hope there is one of those types of things. Because, you know, the hunting horns are like bagpipes, drums in this game, and guitars, and it's just various instruments.
I would love to see just like one of the special hunting horns just be an electric guitar.
Yes.
You just start shredding.
Yeah, I believe that's actually the sound that happens when you attack with the hunting horn guitar in this game. Like, there comes the shredding sounds of the strings. And but it sounds more like a bass when you're playing it. That you're doing a bass solo.
Yeah.
It's pretty funky to listen to, though. Yeah. I'm not sure why he's just attacking out in the middle of the air, but, you know, if he's just going to stand still and take the punches, I will take it. Well, not the punches, but, you know, the free hits.
He really doesn't like that wall.
Well, maybe he's just in pain and frustrated.
Or maybe the wall wasn't wide enough for him to fit through, so he decided to manually fix it.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure the wall would be, you know, good enough. Speaking of which, now we're coming to one of those areas where there's a ramp that you can climb up, and if you haven't tossed a bomb in his mouth, you can do it now. If you're a gunner, I suggest always getting up on those ramps, because you can shoot at the monster, and plus, if anybody stands up there, the monsters will stop up and go, hey, there's somebody up there, I'm gonna go try and take a pot shot at them. So you will actually slow the monster down, making the fight a little bit easier. Every second counts.
Yeah.
Though, granted, if you're playing the multiplayer versions, you're most likely, no matter what, going to kill monsters because you're actually... They don't actually scale the health up very much on these monsters in multiplayer. So, it's easier to kill them in multiplayer than in single player. Like, in multiplayer, you're almost guaranteed a kill.
Also, to be fair, the bone axe is only given, like, almost 3/4 of the way through the game.
Fair enough. I would still say you should probably have or something at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna I'm trying to get a longsword.
Well, longsword's pretty great. Well, longswords, though, I don't know, since I've been playing Tri recently, you know, I thought longswords were more at the end of the game, but you get them still relatively early, all things considered, what I thought I remembered.
I got mine up towards the end. He just, hey, I managed to convince the wyvern guy to sell me his longsword recipes and stuff. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, I still want to know why they turn into scrawny little midgets when they get old.
What happened to his whiskered things? They look so weirdly long now.
They've always been like that.
Which is kind of weird. I thought they like stretched out in a graphical bug.
Nope. But yeah, I just kind of want to know why the Wyvernians, when they're adults, they're tall and stuff, and then as they grow, they turn into a pruny little midget. How does evolution...
Also, how did his feet get better?
When you do enough bleeding, damage to their legs, they reset.
That's...
But now,
Really stupid.
but when they reset, then he's grounded for a while, which is not very important right now, unfortunately. The only time grounding them is important is when they're trying to attack the fort, because then they can't do much, obviously.
It seems kind of stupid that the bleeding resets.
Well, it's just so you can do the whole thing over again.
I know, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense if you think about it realistically, but it's a game mechanic thing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy.
It seems like they start bleeding easier now, too.
Well, that's generally how it is with, you know, like hitbox health point pool. Like the legs,
Yeah.
they'll have, let's just say, 1,000 health. And when you've dealt 1,000 health damage to the legs, they'll flinch. And then they'll have 9,000, not 9,000, but 900 health. And then when you flinch them again, you'll topple, and then, like, you'll have 800 health. You can maybe get it down to 500 health, but then it won't go any longer, so it's easier to get flinches if you just continually focus on that one part. So that is an actual tactic if you're only going for the legs, just the legs, for example. Plus,
This is a really long fight.
yeah, this is one of the reasons why I didn't bring Paper Lion for it. While I was doing commentary with him a couple days ago, we even joked about it, like, I'm not bringing him for this fight. And he's like, yeah, well, there's only one way where that goes. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, if they could just shave off 10 minutes of this fight, you know?
It'd be a lot more bearable.
10 minutes of this fight. They do that for try. They only go up to, like, 25 or 30 minutes, something like that. But even then, there's more to do in those fights than there is in this. So, but I'll get more into that when I actually give it a try, which, again, I'm trying to get to as soon as I can now. But we're almost at the fortifications, so I guess you'll be seeing new things, I guess. Yeah?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, I don't know, you've never seen fort fights before, so yeah, you'll be seeing things. 10-minute mark. But, you know, just spend my time getting away from the blue sharpness, sharpen my weapon. I got time.
Gotta make sure those hammers are sharp.
I still don't know the logic behind it. I mean, I could see maybe it was a weight stone, but then you wouldn't be using a whetstone. Then you'd be using a weight stone.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a meat tenderizer. You need to have the nubs be a bit sharper.
Maybe. I mean, it is an Argakuga hammer. It does have, like, spike quills on it. So, but even though you're not hitting with that part, let's be honest. Oh, and a really annoying thing with Farcasters is if you throw a Farcaster from the ground and you take a hit, then your Farcaster's cancelled.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's really horrible. I've had this happen to me a couple times, and it's just... It infuriates me every single time. Well, infuriate is a strong word, but it annoys me. And this is usually one of the fights that's more advantageous to bring, you know, Farcasters with you, because then you can get to places faster and wait for the monsters for even longer. But no, in this case, right here, Farcasters is probably a great idea, so you can get cannonballs. I've been able to stretch it, and with luck I can actually get 3 cannonballs, but I only try to go for 2 because it takes quite a while and there's a lot of risk involved. And the music's changed, as you might have heard.
Yeah.
That's because we're at the final phase of the fight. Or, I'll just call this phase 2. And just,
It's the part that is different than the other part of beating his feet.
The part that resembles the first time I fought Shengoran, where I'm just fighting him at the fort. Not this fort. And, I'm an idiot there, and I pushed the wrong button. For some reason, I had a period of time where I kept forgetting what button is it I pushed to put cannon in, cannonball and cannon. I'll try pushing this button. Click. Nope.
How do I load the cannon?
But I think in general with the ballista shots and the combined might of the cannon, you could probably get, like, for a melee person, you could get a break there or something like that. But I'm not going for the second cannon shot. He is getting a little too close to that fort, and just grabbing the extra ballista ammo. But
Makes sense. Don't want to risk it too badly.
You can actually, though, break the skull in the back, but I don't think I will be dealing very much damage with the hammer. Plus, I don't think it'll be very advantageous with flinching. What's it called? Oh, yeah, he attacked the fort, and I can't see where he is. It's really nice. Oh yeah, something I should mention, like, drag meter. Always fun with spikes. Something I should mention. You saw me use the ballista, right? And
yeah.
In Freedom, you can't aim up or down. You can only aim left or right. So you can never really hit monsters. So it's never worth it to use the ballista. Plus, every time you fire a ballista shot, I found out that it goes out of the ballista, and then you need to push, go into the aiming mode of the ballista again and manually aim again, and hope that you can get your shots through. And then it goes a couple seconds before you can shoot, and it's just like it throws you out of the ballista every time you shoot a shot. It's really obnoxious. Plus, you can't aim up or down, so you have.
That sucks.
It's just really, it's not worth it. It really isn't. I'll spoil it now. There is a Lao Shanlong fight in. There's a Lao Shanlong fight.
Wow, he just hit you from behind himself
and set me flying forward. But there's a Lao Shanlong fight in Freedom. And the only time you can actually hit Lao Shanlong with the ballista is when he's standing on his hind legs and basically swiping at you while you're at the ballista. That's the only time you can hit him. Meaning, you fire one ballista shot off, you get punched. You fire one shot off, you get punched, and you repeat this until either you die or you run out of ballista. Not a very good. Just not very good in general. But yeah, you can actually.
Sounds like it.
But one thing I was trying to say before, you can actually destroy the skull on the back. It's just the only time you can really do it is, like right now where just staying near the fort. Then I can go behind the skull and just hammer all day long. I can actually reach the hitbox, but I don't think I should do that. Like with high rank weapons in a high rank fight, I probably need to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
G rank weaponry, so I can flinch him a lot and actually make sure I do a lot of damage. So I don't have to worry about that, because I don't think I'd get very many flinches just attacking the skull. It's a shame though, like because in multiplayer, this is how urgents work in multiplayer. You do one fight. Like let's just say everybody's got their urgents. Everybody has to do their own urgent. It's not like one person takes the urgent fight and then it's completed for everybody. So when Heat Wizard and me had to do Shengaran as urgent fights, then for the video purpose, I bring like proper weaponry instead of the normal rank version, and then we do the fight normally. And I found this out just by going, all right, well I'm bringing my Nargacuga hammer now that we've got to your normal rank Shengaran fight, and you know what? Because I got an overpowered hammer for this fight, I'm just gonna attack the back of the skull just for fun. And yeah, you can break that thing pretty good with a hammer if you attack from behind, and it's pretty safe as well.
Nice.
But I don't think it'd have been very effective if I had actually done it for the video where we're supposed to do it properly.
Probably not. Well, good things are never happening when you try to do it right.
Yeah, or try to get it on recording, for that matter. Might not be a bad idea to have somebody just whacking on the back of the skull if you were doing multiplayer, just because, well, I I don't want to use the term loosely because it is a clusterfuck when you have 4 people constantly knocking each other over if you're all attacking the same spot.
Yeah.
A team of gunners would be good for this, though.
Yeah, but I don't think that'd be a very good idea.
What do you mean? Team of gunners?
Yeah, what if they get too close?
People who use ranged weapon against Shangaran, they can just stand at a distance and just never get hit by anything. Like, they're always safe. I mean, you use Pierce Shot, and you get all the hits with every shot from Pierce. It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're using a bow, go for Pierce Shot. Did I mention Pierce Shot? Because I'm pretty sure I did. But the clock is blinking red. We're almost done here.
How much longer is he gonna take to die?
I don't think I got a kill this time. I think he actually ran away. They do have a lot of health. Plus, I did mess up with dying once, and I didn't have my attack buff, all that sort of stuff, so... Yeah, Fort Integrity's down to 40%, so he's gotten a lot of hits on the fort, but, you know, don't have much time left either. Don't have a lot of health either if I keep getting stomped. You know, though, it's a little bit of a shame that I got here, you know, late, because I kept, you know, knocking him over and stalling him. Because if you time it right, you can get 2 hits with the Dragon Eater, though I'm not sure if it's worth it. I don't think it is worth it if you can do that much damage that you keep flinching them and keeping them away from this area. But yeah, the Dragon Eater takes 10 minutes to recharge, and in Freedom you only get 1 shot with the Dragon Eater. It just doesn't recharge, sadly. That made me sad. You know, the 4th leg's almost done bleeding. You falling asleep there?
A little.
A little? Oh, well, it is a long fight. Which is...
doesn't help that I was up late.
And there we go.
I'm out of here. That's boring.
Time's up. Shengarn's bored. He doesn't want to be here any longer. Well, that's good. What weird, janky-looking arms with this actually. I think Shengarn, though...
No, you did to my legs!
Yeah. No, I think Shengarn is actually based off of the Japanese spider. Just, you know, judging on, like, how
probably
legs and claws are working. Because I've seen
images... I think he is.
have you seen images of Japanese spider crabs before?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're actually...
He's got a very similar front claw structure.
Yeah, and the legs as well. They're actually kind of creepy and alien looking, considering how big they are and just how long their legs are.
He's no longer a physical, or he's no longer an object.
Nope. I just was hoping I could give him a couple more punches, because I know in Try, if a monster's running away and all he needs is 1 punch, and you get it in, then it's like, oh, he's fleeing, you win. Oh wait, he's dead, you win. Which is kind of...
I've never actually had that happen.
Oh. Well, you've never really fought anything that's like this.
I fought...
Well, you... Okay, well... Either way, you know... So, you may be looking... Oh, but there's still like a few minutes of the video left. Oh. Huh.
It's all dancing.
Yeah, it's all dancing. No, actually, I'm going to town, because the NPCs will have stuff to tell me.
Hey, you stopped a giant crab!
Well, I just wanted to talk to the cat here. So just in case I needed to farm for a little extra something before I started the mission, then I got that out of the way, so I could get this on video. And a Cantor. Oh, Dangerous Wyvern. So it's going to be one of the new monsters we haven't seen yet. So,
oh, joy of joys.
He's a baby. He's not very dangerous. He's big and dumb. That's it. I say that, but I've seen people get killed by and mauled by him repeatedly. I think he's easy though. But you know that'll be the next video, and after Cantor, I will be spam uploading the Freedom videos just so people know, like for the thread. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll start try in a couple of weeks if everything goes according.
So this is a fancy cat. I never actually picked up on that.
Fancy cat?
Yeah, she doesn't like going yeah.
Yeah, she wants to be more refined and better than the others.
Superior cat is superior.
Yeah.
To you and your pathetic tastes.
Maybe she's the opposite of a furry and she wants to be a human instead. That's a creepy thought. Well, with that nightmare.
Not even gonna comment on the pun. Fine.
With that nightmare fuel said, see you next time.
Goodbye, folks.